Stomach massage is probably one of my favorite traditional Pilates exercises, and its main focus is hip mobility and flexibility, particularly our hamstrings and our hips being in a flex position, as well as spine mobility and flexion and our deep core strength as well. Set up for our stomach massage, we'll turn around on the carriage and scooch forward almost all the way to the edge, and that part is very important. So we want to be really up close to the front here. And from there, we bring the balls of the feet onto the foot bar, heels in, toes out. So I'm in my little Pilates V position. Hands come to the front edge of the carriage, and I'm gonna scoop through the lower belly and find a nice lumbar flexion and C curve. So really thinking about folding around a beach ball here and creating a little circle. From here, we're gonna exhale and pull the carriage in quickly. Inhale, press out with control. Exhale, pull. Inhale, press. Exhale, pull. Inhale, press. Our next variation of the traditional stomach massage series is seated upright. So instead of being in that big C curve, we're going to sit up nice and tall, growing through the crown of the head. So really working on axial elongation here, still in our Pilates V. This one is the same thing, just seated upright. So exhale, pull in, inhale, press. Exhale, pull, inhale, press. Exhale, pull, inhale, press. And then our last traditional variation of this exercise here is adding rotation. So we come in with the arms between the legs, and as you press out, sitting up tall, twisting to one side, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Common problems that we see with stomach massage. A lot of times this is not an accessible position for people to be in. We've just got tight hamstrings. And so one good option is just to lower the feet down to the platform. That's a way that you can change and give options without changing the setup. You could also always lower the foot bar one click. So it's just a little bit lower down and doesn't have people in quite as much hip flexion. Another common problem we see with the first variation is that people really just kind of collapse through the chest, but really are not in that scoop through the lumbar spine. So we really want to cue pubic bone to nose, lengthen the tailbone under you, find that big scoopage moment. And then we're trying to maintain that as we come in and out. And then lastly, we always want to remind people that you only have to come in as far as you can, right? So this is a pretty tight position for the hips to be on. So I'm not bringing the carriage all the way in. Some people may stop here. Some people may be able to get in a little bit farther, but we want to make sure we're listening to our bodies and our hips when we do that. So a couple things to take note of if we're doing sideline work with our foot on the foot bar, which is essentially just sideline footwork. We can do it with the foot bar in this 45-degree angle position where it is normally locked in. However, to do it in this position, we need to make sure we really scooch our hips down towards the foot bar so that we get a nice amount of hip, knee, and ankle flexion. So that's one thing to take note of, is that a lot of times if people are up here to start, we don't have a lot of range of motion to work with. So a nice option for doing sideline footwork here is to just go ahead and lift that foot bar up where we've already got a little bit more flexion to work with. So otherwise, the setup is the same as any other sideline position. Again, you can do this down all the way on your side or stay up on the forearm. And we're just going to press the carriage out all the way and then gently bring it back in as far as you can without losing the stacked pelvis position. We can do this in a parallel with the heel on the bar. We can do it parallel with the knee turned up. We could go ball of the foot. And then we even could go ball of the foot back behind. So you're working the hip into a little bit more of an extension here through the back of the booty. And then you bring it back in. Spring wise for this one, we can go a little bit heavier than we can with your straps, but anything from a blue up to a green or a red and a blue could be a good spring option for this.